Okay, I was sitting here. I came across because I got kicked out.
We are community.
After cleaning over there for a month, I got kicked out of Tasker. An older gentleman got worried because his property had been damaged by tenters before. He didn't understand my position. So I walked as far as I could walk, and this is as far as I could get. I started across the street. The man that bought this lease across the street asked me to move. He was putting it up for sale. He was polite with me. I have no problem with that. I broke the tent down and moved. I've been cleaning up here for 2 weeks straight.
I know, I heard that.
16 to 18 hours a day,
Yep.
picking up needles and garbage, Keurig cups, diapers. I don't know any tenter that can run a Keurig or has a child in a
amazing
tent.
what we see.
You know, like, because the garbage was overwhelming up here. I heard after 2 days of begging everybody for bags. I was walking up to the Tim Hortons to get garbage bags to come here to clean. Mostly to keep my sanity, because who the hell wants to sit in a tent all day long? I'm on every waiting list there is. Hurry up and wait. So I got busy and started cleaning. I started yelling out to the neighbors, bring me garbage bags, I'll keep cleaning. You know, and then somebody told me their story. What happens is all this garbage built up and rolled down the hill into the storm drain there. Well, the last heavy rainfall before I arrived here, their houses flooded in the lower levels and caused damage. Can you imagine? The neighbors were out here with rakes trying to figure out how to get the drains to drain. Nobody wants to take ownership, CN or Geo Rail, for this mass cleanup. Because they and I took it upon myself. Okay, the city's not doing it. God damn it, I'll get down there. Don't you worry, I'll make sure that you do not get flooded again. And I cleaned that entire ditch. I trimmed the trees. I took all the debris out. I found them a second storm drain they didn't know they had. The water's not going into their homes anymore. The rain last. Here I am, the homeless that they were worried about coming into their neighborhood that's going to destroy everything. And I have my problem because the city's not able to help me as well. Right? Because,
Eleanor, I understand Victim Services is here to help you maybe get into some place. I don't know the details.
Nassau said that there's something on the table.
Okay.
I'm supposed to hold off and wait for her.
Okay.
She should be here within the next hour.
No, I know, but so you arrived and the cleanup crew arrived, and there were no workers here. There's no work. There's no.
There's a bunch of workers down there.
They were parked right here for over an hour this morning, and there was not one worker. They arrived before the workers.
Okay.
Yeah. And I only got told about this yesterday afternoon, that my tent was included in this.
I believe that the owner of the property let people know a week ago.
No, nobody came to me.
Well,
Nobody came to me. So
she's
I've got
here,
I've got too much stuff to move in there, but I've done them a huge favor here and saved them a hell of a lot of money. I would have expected some leeway here.
This is my understanding of what the property owner would like.
Yeah.
They're going to be clearing this area.
Yeah, they want to take all the trees down.
They're taking the trees down. They're taking a bunch of stuff,
perfect.
which is dangerous for you to be here while they're doing that.
Yeah, once they get up to this end.
They also don't want anybody on the property that's not allowed to be on the property. So,
Officer Richardson, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Yeah. So, are you hired by them?
No.
So why are you here today for property owners who never maintained this property? That's my question to you.
I met
the property owners asked me to attend.
Yeah.
So
that's what we do. Just like if you ask me to attend your residence. So.
Yeah, and that's got a lot of people up in arms because they've been after these people for a year to clean the mess up in here.
Yeah.
It took me a 50-year-old lady who's laying on the ground. Usually, I just got my cot here a few days back, but it was on the ground. It was laying on a piece of plywood. It took a 50-year-old lady, homeless lady. Okay, 14 days to clean up this mess.
So what do you need today?
What do I need today?
Sorry.
Housing I definitely need. I need leeway. And I would like some recognition for the fucking work.
This is a violation of our Section 7 Charter rights.
I severed a nerve in my hand working a saw, like to try and help.
So,
what I'm trying to get to is the community and the homeless here. My homeless, their community. Met in the middle and took care of something that the city couldn't up here. Because they've been after CN, they've been after Geo Rail, doing the mess. They've been after the homeless. A lot of people don't understand. Not all the homeless are out here to hurt people.
Everybody to move off their property.
Yeah.
And they're going to clean this.
Yeah, they've been saying that for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks.
It's already been cleaned.
Yeah, it's already. I already did this part. This part's clean.
This
They
part
just
is
got to
clean.
take the trees down when they're ready to take
They
the
can clean
trees.
that part.
Yeah,
Well-
yeah.
It's their property. It's going to be their decision.
So
Okay,
where
yeah,
you
they
work
should come
for
and talk
CORE.
to me.
Yep.
I do
So
believe they should come and
where
talk
are
to
the
me.
staff for her to support
Victim
her?
Services is here to support.
They're here because of
and,
me.
And NASA's
Yeah.
NASA's been.
They're here because of me, not because of any services that are in place.
Ma'am, you
I'm-
asked me a question. I gave you an answer.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
He's not trying to be nasty.
No.
Thank
they're
you,
here-
Eleanor.
Well, you're
He's not
complaining.
Okay,
Listen,
so
understand-
I have to ask everybody if they
understand
could to move
that
off the
officers that are here,
property.
guys, hold on.
Appreciate it.
This isn't their fault, okay? This isn't their fault. This is this is a citywide problem. It's a systematic problem. Their hands are tied. They are just as frustrated as I am. They do not want to chase me off of here just to chase me off the next place a week later. When they know I have nowhere to go.
Our point is,
He understands
the
that.
city is just kicking you out.
Yeah.
There's no
It's get off my
resolution,
lot,
there's
you
no-
eyesore. And
This
they
isn't
think that's
city
going to
property.
start.
I understand
Yeah.
that, but it's
Yeah.
city contracted vehicles that are here to move for help.
No, there aren't.
No. Those are private.
The
That's a
city has
private
been
abatement.
patrolling here all morning.
This
Yes,
isn't
he's
city
supposed to
property.
go.
They have
That's
been
because he's got to
patrolling
pay
here
there.
all morning.
As a
Yeah.
resident, I've been up since 5:30 this morning. The city.
Those aren't city.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not.
They
Maybe
have
there's
city-
something
Counselor
else.
Bateman is not
There's
incorrect.
something else going on.
There's
I
one
don't
city
know,
truck
but
that we got to
it's-
watch for. He's
It's
got
a private
there's a young
company
man
and private
comes in.
contractors.
My frustration is not with you.
I
As
get
a
it.
social worker who
Yep.
is employed by the region,
Yeah.
my frustration is that there is no resolution. All it is get up, move. We don't want you here. And the
Yeah.
fact of the matter is, there's no funding, there's no affordable housing,
I hear
there's
you.
nowhere we can put these people.
Yep.
So A, as a resident, and B, as a social worker, I'm looking at a human being who now has nowhere to go, and I'm expressing
And
frustration.
I'm going to provide as much assistance as I can and
Yeah.
help both sides, the property owner and Miss Ray. So Miss Ray, what can I do? You need?
The community here has taken very, very good care of me. I've gone through 120 garbage bags. I've sent 120
Ma'am,
garbage
can I
bags.
please get you to move off the property? It's trespassing.
Yeah,
The,
just,
the owner can direct me to leave.
The owner has given me authority
Yeah.
to direct people
I don't believe you.
off the property.
I don't believe you. When I hear from the owner or a
owner?
representative of the owner,
I
then
am
I'll leave.
acting on behalf of the owner.
No, I'm sorry.
I've already spoken to her a little bit ago.
She can pop over here then if she exists,
I have
or if
asked
she's a fiction of your imagination.
on behalf of the owner to leave. I've just spoke with her.
I don't believe you.
Well, it doesn't matter whether you believe
And
me
it
or
doesn't
not.
matter whether you are inventing some fictional conversation or not. When they direct me to leave,
okay, yeah, and as I said, if they once they start getting up to this end,
I love beating these guys in
once they get up,
court.
tell them once they get to
They're habitual losers in court.
You see that? That's that railroad ties. The first one.
What does
Moved
that
out.
mean?
I've asked them to give me a couple of days
Yep.
to work on getting my stuff out because there's no. I can't physically do it right now. You know, I severed a nerve in my hand chopping them. Okay.
So I'm Cora. I'm with Geo. I've been with Geo for a couple of years, and prior to that, my background is actually in social services. I spent 20 years in social services, so I'm very familiar with Ellie's situation, and I've worked with a lot of people who experience homelessness, and I've worked with people who have been through the justice system and stuff like that too. So I understand, and we are not.
That's going to be hard because everybody's here.
We're not wanting to, just kick people out, but at the same time, we also have to recognize that this is private property and there's safety concerns, right? People are parked encampment close to a railway. So we have to understand
Now I've told everybody
that
that I'm voting back.
railways are dangerous, right? Like if you're by a railroad track, that also causes potential danger to people.
Can I
Please.
ask an obvious question as a counselor and
Yeah.
somebody who works with residents here?
Sure.
This area has been in need of some
Rehab.
some cleanup for a very long time.
So we've recently taken over this property.
When was that?
I don't know the exact date, but it's been a few years. We don't have any lines running right now on this property. which is also why, you know, we weren't very aware of people moving in. Otherwise, we would have notified Ellie a long time ago that this is private property. So we heard about encampments in mid-March that people were living out on the space. And we've been trying to work with city, we've worked very successfully with the police, with bylaw officers to try and support folks to move on. We recognize that homelessness is a huge issue right now in Canada, across Canada, right?
So my question is that residents have been telling me they've been in need of this area to be cleaned up for quite some time, years.
Okay, so we, again, were notified mid-March.
You've been notified before that about
Not
debris.
not Geo. Geo Railway was notified March 10th.
We've done a real good job.
I just want to be clear that you've never received any correspondence about needles dumping.
Until March 10th.
Okay, but isn't it your responsibility, because it's property you own, to maintain it and to make sure that the grass is
So
cut?
this was property that we've inherited, we've taken over.
A few years ago, you said though. Right?
I don't know the exact date. I didn't say years.
You said a few years.
A few
but go
years.
ahead.
Okay.
That's okay.
So we've recently taken over this property.
When was that?
I don't know the exact date, but it's been a few years. We don't. So
I'm not trying to get you in any.
well, you are.
No,
I
I'm
mean,
not.
You're.
That's her. I don't have my camera going. But my point is that, and you're caught between me trying to support changing the system to benefit.
You know what? The thing is, we would love to be a part of being change makers, right? However, we were notified March 10th that there was an encampment, and since that time,
So it's the encampment. It's not the mess. It's the encampment.
we didn't even know about any of the mess or the encampment until March 10th.
Okay, but that is the responsibility of
Every property
leasees
owner.
or property owners or property managers.
For sure. And we're going to get better at it, right? But we only know what we know. You can't know what you don't know. We didn't know about it, therefore we couldn't do anything about it. We didn't know about it.
Well, it's your responsibility to know about it. It's my phone going.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. But it is your responsibility to know about it. And I don't mean to be, I wish the owners were here so I could talk to them, but you're here. But this is happening across, like that grass should not be that tall. You have people over here who are cutting their lawn who own that property, and they're here all the time cutting it. I hear from neighbors, and then you guys
Well,
are here.
and now that we're made aware of it, it is definitely something that we are going to continue to look at.
Okay, 'cause
Right?
residents deserve better.
I agree. We don't disagree with you at all. At all. We don't disagree. We want this place cleaned up, which is why we have a crew that's starting at that end to clean up.
Are they using bulldozers?
They're using backhoes.
So they're using big excavation tools to clean up the encampment.
Yes. Well, sorry. Can I question?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
I feel like there was maybe that's not okay. Or,
No, I don't think it's okay. These are people's homes.
Right. On private property, however.
Private property that you've not
That
maintained
you've
for
neglected.
years.
And yet
That you have no interest in maintaining
Okay, so-
until there's a human being on it.
no.
And then it becomes an issue.
No, it became an issue when we were notified of it.
So
It wasn't an issue before that we weren't notified.
That
now
makes
that we've
no
been
logical sense.
Sorry?
If I own, if my property, my home, if I let the grass grow to the heights that are over there,
Right.
to allow the bushes and trees and vines to grow out of control, I would have long time ago been contacted by city bylaw. So
You know what? So here's the thing. City bylaw did contact us
when?
in
Roughly?
March.
Yeah, after the passage
So,
of this
again-
unconstitutional bylaw.
Okay, so again, if we were not notified and we do not use
You
the
realize that
property,
the city, if they, a bylaw enforcement came and saw my lawn in a state of disrepair, saying, "Oh, I didn't know," isn't an excuse.
Okay.
A judge, a trier of fact or law, would not say, "Oh, you didn't know? Well, in that case, we'll let it slide this one time." You own the property. You had a responsibility to maintain it.
And
you
we are.
clearly
And that's
didn't.
what we're doing now. And
You didn't for years,
so,
and now
we are.
And now that city bylaw tipped you off that your property, your neglected, abandoned property, was being used by someone. Now it's convenient that you're coming in.
It's not convenient.
Oh, you're right. It's not convenient to Ellie. You're right. Absolutely. It's not convenient
It's not
to Ellie.
convenient to Ellie or any of the folks living over there.
How many have complained to you? Since we're going to make up stories, let's use the Socratic method
sorry,
to dig in deeper.
Can I ask you something?
Sure, ask away.
Sorry, I forget your name.
Sabrina.
Sabrina. I'm really terrible with names. My apologies. And sorry, where are you from, Sabrina?
I'm a legal advocate. I'm here to represent Ellie's interests.
Okay, excellent. That's fantastic. So, when did you first meet Ellie?
Yesterday.
Oh, okay.
It's
I'm
not my
sorry for
property.
you. Oh,
It's
Okay.
and I actually technically I've known her for years because I used to work in the social services profession here locally.
Okay.
But
excellent.
her occupancy of this abandoned tract of land came to my attention yesterday.
Okay.
So I don't know what relevance that has to.
Well,
It's not my property, so I didn't have an obligation to know she was residing here.
right. So I guess my question is, what are you hoping to advocate for in this situation?
Her Section 7 rights,
Which is?
her right to live freely without the harassment. Now I recognize that
I
this
agree,
is
but
your
not
property.
on our property.
Yeah,
This is
property
our
that you
property.
neglected for years.
Regardless, this is our property.
That's a pretty big regardless. You're ignoring the fact that you abandoned and neglected this property for a long time until one of Matt Sisko's goons tipped you guys off that someone's here. He's the unfortunate mayor of St. Catharines. Until one of his bylaw officers reached out to you and say, "Hey, guess what? Just so you can weaponize."
We're not weaponizing
TPA.
anything, and I don't appreciate that word.
What
I
are you
do-
talking about? You're
we are not
weaponizing the TPA, the Trespass to Property Act for non-professionals. The Trespass to Property Act. You're weaponizing them. You're weaponizing individuals like this.
We are absolutely not weaponizing anybody. What we are asking for is for our property to remain clear and free
Now,
of anybody
now,
residing.
Years later. Yeah, years later.
Of anybody
Now you're
residing.
finding the inspiration. And again, it's not your issue. It's whoever you report to. It's the owners of this company.
I'm going to step away.
That's what I thought. Bye-bye.